This is Paranormal Short Session 17 by Keith Evans at the Chestnut Street Cemetery in Apalachicola, Florida. Today's date is Wednesday, the 17th of May, 2023. Today I'm at the Albert plot. There's one tombstone with Albert on it. The other tombstone, it's very hard to see what is actually documented on it. It says mother here and father there, so I imagine it's a husband and wife team here, buried. Mr. Patrick Albert, what was your wife's first name? Mrs. Albert, what was your husband's first name? Now, on the little fence here, it has PA long. So, what happened here? I don't have much battery time left, so I'm going to try to zero in this and hope you can see it at home. I can see it on my screen in my flare, but I don't know if you can pick it up since I'm having the camera right up to my flare. But since we're low on energy for the C15 camera, let's go over to this area. Has been in shade just about all day, so it should be mainly purple. I'll see if I can pick that up for you. And I think that's normal for the amount of vegetation. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the C15 camera off. It's sad. It seems like the C15 camera loses energy fast. I'm not sure whether that's related to the paranormal or not. All right, this area here is just a slab. It looks like the same type slab. You can see there's a newer slab on top of the old slab. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let me try to zero in and see if I can get that for you. See the old slab underneath of the new slab? You can see it if it's sticking out at the very end. So that's similar to this slab here. So I think all three were just slabs like that. And later on, they put the mother and father slab with like a headstone on later on. So a nice update. So I'm not sure who is buried here. I'm not going to cross the threshold of the fence to find out. I could try to brush it off if I brought a broom, but for now I'll just leave the leaves in place and not know. May I ask Mrs. Albert and Mr. Albert who is buried here at this grave at the far end away from your cement slabs or whatever, the granite slabs? Oh, I'm asking questions. I haven't even turned the Obelisk 5 on yet. All right, my question to Mr. and Mrs. Albert. Who's buried here in this cement slab? This is Mr. and Mrs. Albert here. Who's buried here? That's my question. I'm going to hit the ABC at the top left. Who is buried in this slab right here? You gotta get a word. Let's see what it is. Whose? Yes, H. Or should I say, who's buried here? Whose burial plot is this right here? Let's say we got something here. First word was whose, W-H-O-S-E, and then it was milk, M-I-L-K. Whose milk? Whose? Was there somebody named Milk? Was his nickname Milk? I like to drink milk, so maybe this gentleman or lady's nickname was Milk. There might be a surname of Milk. Anyone out there know of a surname called Milk, M-I-L-K? And maybe they spelt it wrong. Maybe it should be Mike. Let me look. M-I-L-K. Mike, Mick. I know I'm not the best speller in the world. So if you're dealing with a ghost or spirit that's not very good at spelling, it might be hard for them to choose words. If they did not learn how to read and write very well, they might not, be able to choose the best words for what they're trying to say when they use their energy to choose words from your Obelisk 5B. So they take that in consideration. All right, let me ask the person that is buried here, would you like to tell me what you did as far as employment when you were alive? Would you like to tell me where you lived in Apalachicola when you were alive? Would you like to tell me where your soul resides today? I know your biological body is right where I'm focusing the camera. I'm not getting any response. Are you happy to see me here today? Would you like me to go away? Well, let's go on down here and speak with the mom and dad, Mr. and Mrs. Albert. Can anyone see what is written on the tombstone here, or the slab that says Mother? I'll try to zero in. It's not letting me for some reason. Let me see what I can do here. Well, it's not letting me zoom in. It's just... I can't read it. If you can read it, you're a better person than me. Leave a comment. All I can see is Mother, and below that the cross. The Mother's on like a separate little headstone. Same granite consistency as the slab, which fits over the original cement. You can see the original cement slab is right there. It ends here. It actually comes out further on both of them. So you can see it there or not. Not quite as good as you can see it here. I think we're getting some more words here on the obelisk. Let's get in the shade so we can see them. Ghost spirits, it don't do you any good to be talking when I'm not watching. Show, S-H-O-W, Ed, E-D, and Rad, R-A-I-D. Show Ed as Rad. See if I can pick it up on here. That's what it says. Show Ed as Rad. I think you can see it now. Show Ed Rad. Judge. Show is S-H-O-W. Ed is E-D. Rad is R-A-I-D. Judge is J-U-D-G-E. Well, this gentleman here is Patrick, unless his middle name was Ed. I'm sure the mom's name wasn't Ed. So, let's go down here and speak to Ed. Hi, Ed. I guess it took you a while to either have enough energy or to be able to utilize the Obelisk 5B. You can see it now, Ed. It's certain lighting, it's hard to see. Ed Rad Judge. Show Ed Rad Judge. Is rad used to be a good term. Someone was rad, it was good or okay. That term didn't last very long, but what do you, when you were alive, or when the word rad was popular, what did it stand for? Some people use it short for radiation, rad. So, how are you using it? Are you talking about your electromagnetic energy as having a certain amount of radiation? Show it as radiation? That might be what you're trying to say. No, the Flare C5 camera, you might say it shows the temperature or the heat. Well, heat would be something that's hot. It shows the temperature, whether it's cold or hot, of the environment. And it's got a multiple amount of colors, like black is the coldest, purple's next. You know, red is getting fairly close to 60 degrees, 50, 60. Orange is about 70. You know, above orange. Yellow is about 80, maybe 75 to 80. And anything above that would be like white. But it depends on the environment. If the hottest state in your environment's 90 degrees, then white will be 90. And if the coldest state in your environment is 60, then 60 will be purple or black. So the range will cover whatever temperature range exists in your environment. So today, I didn't pay attention to the range, but I think it would probably be from probably 65 to 70 would be the coolest. So anything in the shade would be 65 to 70 degrees, would be kind of black or purple. And then anything in the sunlight, like say the mother's grave cradle there, would probably be like a yellow or orange, which would be in the hotter range, going towards maybe 75 to 80. And you probably wouldn't see that much white. You might see some. You may not see much black, but the purple would kind of be like a purplish black. But people think the colors are firm. No, you only have black if it's freezing. No, you'll have black and purple even if it's 100 degrees out. If the coolest thing that would probably come in is it might not come in as purple, it might come in as yellow or orange or red, but you're not gonna, whatever your environment is, you're gonna see that rainbow color. The coolest color Well, no matter what it is, whether it's 32 degrees or 60 degrees, that coolest color will be either black or purple. And the hottest color could be anywhere from yellow to white. So if your hottest color is only 80, then 80 could be yellow or white. So that's the way the C5 camera works. So you don't just go by color, you got to go by what's actually on your screen. And it's got that little bullseye, like you're looking through the scope of an M16 and looking at the sights. Whatever's in that sight, it'll tell you that temperature. And then the range off to the left side at the top is the temperature of whatever you're looking at through that sight, which is very narrow. So you got to hold it very steady. And then when you're looking at the range, it'll go from the hottest at the top, white, down to purple or black at the bottom. Black is your coldest, and purple you'll see more than black, especially on a day like today. And on a day like today, you probably won't see that much white. You might see some white, but you're probably going to see yellow as the hottest color. White would be the hottest that's in your environment. All right. Okay, show Ed as being rad. Ed, you're not. Now let's judge. Rad means to judge. Well, possibly. I think that I did show your tombstone or your slab, which is your monument to your burial area. I did show that, and the area was purple, but it's got leaves and other decaying vegetation on top, which is wet, and it's in the shade, so it's going to be cooler. It's going to take longer to heat up when the sunlight does get here. So Ed Rad Judge. Ed, do you have anything else to say? Well, I'm going to move back over and talk to, I guess, your relatives, Mr. and Mrs. Albert. I don't know why it says P.A. Long. Maybe that's the relative that's taking care of it. I don't know what it says on this side. I can hardly see. It's kind of upside down here. It don't look like... I'm going to turn it off. I don't know if you can see a name there or not. All right, got another word it sounds like. After Judge, I got two, T-O. Two. He's talking about the two grave sites, T-O. Sacrifice. It was kind of said in a negative term. Now, are you talking about throughout your life you sacrificed? Two is T-O. Sacrifice is S-A-C-R-I-F-I-C-E. You sacrifice your time and your money on supporting your family. That's probably what Mr. and Mrs. Albert's saying. I think the obelisk is set up so that words are spoken under a certain tone. I find the more negative words are spoken in a less friendly way, or maybe playfully negative way. But I've never, even if I get a negative word, nothing bad ever happens, so don't worry about it. I mean, I'm in this graveyard all by myself, and I'm not worried. Here's a highway over here, but I'm going to try to avoid showing the cars. And if you hear that in the background, that's the cars, because the highway's not too far from where I'm at. Right there. And I'm standing in the shade because it's further hot today, even though there's a nice cool breeze blowing. What is that emblem on top of your little tombstone there, Mr. Patrick Albrecht? Or is it Albert? Albert. Mr. Patrick, oh, Albert Long. I didn't see that there. So Albert is your, wow, middle name. Long is your last name. Sorry about that, Mr. Long. Born March 1st, looks like 60. Passed away January 22nd, 1927. Sorry about that, Mr. Long. So the PA stands for Patrick Albert Long. My apologies. I'll be more observant next time. Accept my apologies, Mr. and Mrs. Long. Mr. Long, what type of work did you do when you were alive? Well, this one will be for both the husband and wife, Mr. and Mrs. Long. What were your favorite hobbies when you were alive? As a spirit, what do you enjoy doing right now? During these days. What did you most like about Apalachicola? What year were these more modern slabs put on your old slab? If it was during the 1900s, just give me the last two digits. If it was during the 20s, give me the last two digits. Okay. Did you own a car, Mr. Albert? Did you own a horse and buggy, Mr. Albert? In case Mr. and Mrs. Albert's not here today, is there any other family members? It looks like there's probably room for maybe 3 or 4 more people to be buried here, and maybe room for some children to be buried here. If there's anyone else here that can represent the Long family, please answer the following questions. If you're related to the two husband and wife, Patrick Albert Long and Mrs. Long. What is your relation to them? Such as, are you a cousin, an uncle, an aunt, grandfather, grandmother, aunt, grandson, nephew? Did you get any hurricanes in Apalachicola when you were alive? That would be anyone that's in the area. You don't have to be related to the Long family. Does anyone remember the hurricane? If so, give me the name of the hurricane that you lived through. Or even if it was a hurricane that you passed away during, give me that name of that hurricane. Not getting much. Well, Ghosts of Spirits, I guess I'll be ending for today since I'm not getting very much data. It's been nice talking to all the Ghosts of Spirits that are here today, especially Ed. Nice talking to you, Ed. Ed, I would imagine that you're related to the Long family. If so, Ed, how are you related to them? Are you related to the... What's that? I can't really see it through the camera. Let me take a look. Shaken. S-H-A-K-E-N. Well, it said loud. Shaken. That was loud. Are you trying to shake me? Well, if you're trying to shake me, honestly, I can't see you or feel you. Sorry. I'm not that sensitive to things. If anything, I can feel your emotions. And I can't really feel your emotions. It usually has to be a house or a place where a person lived for 20, 30 years for me to be able to pick up any emotions from them. And I have to do many days of paranormal research to really get an overall sense of their strong emotions. So let me see if I can get that to come in better so you can see it at home. Shaking. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end for today. Again, it was nice talking to you, Ed, and nice talking to you, Mr. Patrick Albert Long and his wife, Mrs. Long. Sorry I got your, last name wrong. And this has been Paranormal Short Session 17 by Keith Evans at the Chestnut Street Cemetery in Apalachicola, Florida. Today's date, there was a truck whizzed by. I don't know if you could hear it or not. It's not paranormal. Cars are constantly going by. It's not paranormal. Today is Wednesday, 17th May, 2023. Thank you to everyone that talked to me today. I'd like to give a thanks to all the people at home that support me on YouTube, Paranormal Short Sessions by Keith Evans, and on my Facebook and my Instagram pages, or whatever you want to call them. I appreciate all the likes and the comments. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you, and keep watching, and I'll keep putting out the paranormal that both you and I enjoy. All right, thank you. Take care. Have a good day.